Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Claudio Corona on Working with Alan Evans and Lettuce.
Let's go through the timeline and then we'll get into some of the deeper things. I guess Crowd Company is when things really started clicking and rolling for you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm still playing with them. It's a great band. I mean, it's a 7-piece band. It's big, and we started to make music. And Rob Fleming, which is a band leader, always found really good gigs in UK. And after a couple of albums, we've been produced by Alan Evans. And then for me started with that band, and then when we met with Alan, he produced the album, and seeing him in action in his studio really clicked with me, and I said, okay, I already wanted to do that. I didn't quite know how, and Alan showed me the way. I mean, I wanted to have that kind of sound, and that's how really, he gave me a little bit more confidence. Alan is always very supportive, and also Rob of the band, always very supportive. And it's still, we had great opportunities with Alan and then Lettuce Horns, which are two great, fantastic musicians. And that's how we develop, with Vintage League Music, which is the label that Rob and Alan have together.
Alan is so fantastic. We've spoken to him quite a few times over the years. He's a friend of the channel and such a loving, kind person. So great. All right, so let me ask you. You tend to do the organ trio thing, right? You when you work with the organ, you'll work within the trio format a lot of the time. How do you find that different than working with the 7-piece band?
Oh, I gotta say it's very different. So that's an interesting question. So I started to play left hand bass, maybe 7 years ago. I started. I've always been attracted, but I said, okay, I'm gonna tackle this. I really love it. And since I started, I never stopped sort of studying and learning. It's quite a difficult skill. You must know Neil Evans, which is a master of that, Alan's brother. But of course, the tradition started with Jimmy Smith and all the organ player. And since the beginning, I was fascinated by the fact that the organist was also the bass player. Now, it might sound funny, but I think I was a bass player that ended up to play organ, because it comes natural to me playing bass, and I absolutely love it. So it is completely different when I'm playing bass, left hand trio. I am a bass player, and when I play with Crowd Company or any other bands where there is a bass player, that's a keyboard player territory. It's completely different how I experience it. Both really good, but actually, if I had to choose one, I would probably choose the bass related. It's just you're part of the groove. I love it.
It's great. I mean, there's such a tradition of that in American rock. You get something like the Doors, even. They had a
Yeah.
lead singer, said they weren't an organ trio, but you get rid of Morrison, and they were an organ trio.
Yeah, absolutely. What a sound as well. I mean, the Manzarek, yeah, great musician.
So I know that you had co-produced Lowdown with Alan, and I'd be interested to know what it's like to work with him, because we know his passion for what he does. How is that process for you?
It's very easy. One of the things I immediately notice is just Alan. It makes you better somehow. You're really relaxed. You're working together. You don't even notice. Is really good in create a totally relaxed environment, which is a producer. Also at that time, he's also the sound engineer. You work in his studio, but he's also producing because he's bringing so much of the sound some of the arrangement as well. We all work together, but of course Alan's part being a sound engineer as well. That the two things, they're together. But it's very easy, and that's really what is producer about. It's really easy to work with.
Were you at his studio here in the States, or were you recording somewhere else?
No, we were at his studio, Iron Wax Studios
Mhm.
in Boston. So we went there, and we actually recorded 2 albums. The latest one is Low Down, but we recorded the previous one as well, Stone and Sky. That was produced at Iron Wax with Alan as well. But I didn't co-produce. That was Alan. I was at the beginning there. But the second one, I was heavily involved because, well, it's a long story short, but I ended up writing the horn section. And we ended up using the lettuce horns, the shady horns. So we pre-produced the songs in London, but I wrote all the parts for saxophone and trumpet and more. And so that's why I got heavily involved, because I was involved in the harmony, in the structure, in the writing, the horns. So you basically know what's going on, basically. So we all worked together. It was fantastic. Yeah, I loved it.
Have you been able to see any of that played live, whether it's with you or with others?
Well, I saw the Lettuce live in London.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Alan. I saw Alan in London as well with his trio and Chris Juncker. And well, then I was lucky enough to work with the Lettuce horn. So we were chatting, and then I saw them in action recording in the studio, which is brilliant, something that you don't see every day. So yeah, I was lucky enough to see them in action, really.
That's great. Yeah, I know they love to do those big European tours, and a bunch of the Lettuce folks live out near me in Colorado, so I see Benny all the time. He's always out playing, and that's somebody who hustles. I feel like most of the Lettuce fam has multiple projects going on at any time. So I always wonder how they get it all in. They just love what they do.
Yeah, they're busy. Well, yeah, absolutely. They love it. They basically they go their own projects. Like the drummer, Adam Deitch has got his own quartet and the Lettuce and millions of other things. Playing with John Medescu, which is one of my heroes. So those people are busy because they're fantastic.
Okay. It's all good. So you said Crowd Control. Crowd Company is still together, right? Do you guys still tour?
Well, we were gigging in London. We just had a really good gig in central London at the Pizza Express, a live music venue, and we got other coming up, and we always got some good gigs in big venues in UK. There is no a tour at the moment. The COVID is, even if it's been a while now, we still sort of affect heavily bands that are being in numbers like 7-8 piece band.
Right.
But we started to get busy again.
Right. Now how do you go about there's quite a few albums that you have with that band. How do you guys go about planning out a set list for a show?
How do we play the set list? Well, we got a selection of the first, second, and third album, really.
Okay.
We changed a few. We changed a singer, and so we got we always do 2, 3, maybe no more than that, covers in a rearranged version. So that's what we do. We always play a selection of the albums and also we always throw in a couple of instrumentals, at least one, because Rob really likes to play an instrumental to start the gig with, which I think is really cool, actually.
Right. One of your singles, instrumental singles, Express 76, blew up a little bit in the UK and Europe.
Yeah.
No,
that I love that. That's with Benny and Ryan, and I was so pleased that Rob asked me to work on something like that, and then we all jam it together. And of course, Ryan is playing a fantastic solo on it. And yeah, he came out really well. And I think we got lucky because Craig Charles, which is has got a radio show in UK, really liked it. So he's pinned in on BBC Six, and that that really does help you.
Right, he's as close as there is to a John Peel these days, I think, on BBC, huh?
Yeah, he's got a following. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. His selection, and I mean, I've seen it a few times. He's set. It's fantastic. Yeah.
So, all right. So, how do you end up recording? When did the EP come out, or is it out? Laying it down.
Yeah, Lay Down came out. How long it was that? 2 years and something, 3, something like that. Yeah, that was my first project, really, like a ticket in. I call it a ticket in. So I had this idea, which is at that time, Alan was recording drums in his studio, and he had the idea to just record drums and sell the stems on his website. And the reason he attracted me, they were different from lots of drums loops that you can buy around, because they are long. They're 4 minutes. So it's like he's thinking about songs when he's playing drums, because they're long, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes of him playing. There is no repetition. They're not copy and paste. I thought I really like that. And also the sound was good already. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna download them. I think they were like 10 or something, and I'm gonna mess around with them. I'm gonna put some music on. I imagine what he could have imagined on top of his drums, and that's what I did. I took the best of the ideas I had, and 4 tunes came out, and that is the music on top of his drumming. That's the way I thought it. So it's just me and him, and I just tailored the music on top of his drumming. That was their concept, and it's just a ticket in where I messed around with my studio. You can see my toys behind me. Bass and Hammond and all of sorts. That is laid down, really.
Your latest project, you worked with somebody else from Lettuce?
Yes. So I was working on my album. I was sitting with a friend of mine, a drummer, having a coffee, and I said, I'm gonna ask Ryan and Benny to record some horns for my album. Oh yeah, and this guy, a friend of mine, says, well, why don't you ask Adam? So what? Yeah, ask Adam. Okay, so as a sort of like, okay, and I did it in the night, just sent I think it was an Instagram message or something like that. We didn't know each other, and I said, I played with Benny and Ryan. I collaborated with Alan. I've got a tune. I think it would be great if you do that. And he said, oh yeah, it sounds great. Yeah, I'm on tour. I need to find a studio. And after, it was in Denver at that time, I think. And then it took a while to find a studio. A long story short, he recorded this drum stems for me, and I finished the tune, and I said, whoa, I've got something good in here. I'm gonna just push it. And I got lucky because as you said, these guys are busy. You never know if they're gonna say yes or no. They are busy. I think I got a stroke of luck. He might have digged the tune, but a little bit of luck as well. He wanted to do it, and he was near Denver. And it happened.
All right. Well, let's make you some money right now. What is the name of the current single, and why don't we throw out the names of the other 2 singles that are coming out?
So the single is just out. It's called "Burn the House Down," with Adam Deitch on drums, and mastered by Alan Evans. And next month will be coming up the second single, which has Alan Evans on drums, and it's called Glamour Puss. And the third one, it's called Imagination Unlimited, which is also the name of the album that will come out in May.
Okay. I like the single thing. There is a band, an American band out of Pennsylvania named Jim Cotta, and at one point they released all 10 of the songs as singles once a month, and then the 11th month they released the album. So for a whole year they had new stuff coming out every month, and I was like, that's brilliant. That's how you get your name out there and get it to stick.
Yeah. No. I learned as well, and also there is this. You see, talking about adaptation now. If you want to try to get into the game of streaming, you got one chance only to pitch your tune to Apple Music and Spotify, but there are others as well. But let's talk about those two. You got one chance before it's released.
Right.
So when you release an album, you can only pitch one tune. So you lose in 9. If you got 10 tunes, you lose, and that's why you do it. And so the more tunes, the more single you release, the more chances is that one of your tune finishes a very big playlist, and that is sort of winning a lottery kind of thing. If he ends up in the right playlist, then you do a little bit of boom, and you sort of, and then people discover you, check you out, and play other tunes, and so that's also why people do it.
It's the game. You may have one of the last recordings of Alan doing drums. He was telling us that he was not going to be playing drums anymore when we talked to him last.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my! Wow. Well, I know that he wasn't very up for playing around that much, but I knew that he was playing only a few gigs with Soul Live. But I heard from him and Rob, his friend, that he's going to, he's mixing and mastering mainly nowadays. Yeah,
that's what he said. He said that he was done and he wasn't going to be going out, because we were talking about Soul Live released the album, and he's like, yeah, we did that because we had played some shows and we were just in the moment there. He was like, but that's not really where I am anymore.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
So Kevin, I think part of it, because you can see on Alan's face the joy he gets from being able to work with so many other people, and then also I think one of the times we talked to him was about younger musicians as well, and kind of trying to be that little bit of a mentor. And it's really amazing to see someone taking a path that is so clearly giving them what they need, that happiness of doing something. So yeah, pretty cool to see that evolution.
Yeah. I don't know. I get it though. I even if I'm still, I get it. It's like after you've done it for a long time. I mean, being on tour, being away, it's not that easy. I mean, not being at home, it can burn you out a bit. But it depends. I mean, I'm talking about me. I've got kids, so sometimes it depends if you want to be around, how you want to be around, and that it involves. If I was a free spirit on my own, it might be a bit different. But yeah, I get it.
He said he never considered himself a drummer to us, and we were like, what?
Well, I've seen him playing guitar and bass, and he sings. The thing is, he plays drums amazingly, but he can do. He's a producer. Yeah, he can do lots of things, and we've seen one the most. I think that's what
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that you want to throw out? Any other projects? Anything else you have working that you want to mention?
At the moment, I mean, I'm full hands-on with this album. I'm so much going on, and I can't wait to release it all. And I've got I've got so many musicians on board. I mean, of course, Alan and Adam, but so many UK great musicians, and Italians and one as well. So I can't wait to release everything, and I got a few projects. I'm gonna record a band in my studio later on in the year, and I've got some ideas, and I've been thinking about the next album as well. So yes, but at the moment, I'm you know, I am in the thick of it, of releasing this work. So it'll be a few months like that.
And it's going to be out on Vintage League, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm really proud of being part of that label with Rob and Alan. It's just great. It's just increased.
We need to get you to America for some festivals in the summer or next summer.
Oh yeah, I mean, where is my ticket? Yeah, no.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. There's an appetite. I mean, for what you do, there's definitely a fan base here that would really, really love it and appreciate it, no doubt.
Yeah, but I've been thinking, so yeah, I'll think about it heavily to put like a definitive trio together and do that. And
right,
yeah,
we were calling last year the year of the trio. We spoke to so many bands that were trios, and the Oregon Trio was a popular thing. There's a band out of Buffalo called Oregon Fairchild, which are the Oregon, and they have the best name ever.
Yeah, it's just a magic number 3. I don't know. I played with many lineup, but I gotta say the trio has got some magic. It just you can improvise and you can lock it in. Really,
there's nowhere to hide though, right? As a player,
absolutely.
It's not like you have
Yeah, you speak the truth again, especially when you play trio and you got saxophone and trumpet. When they stop soloing, you go, whoop, it's a duo. Yeah. Yeah, they hear everything. You're very exposed. So it's both intimidating but and very powerful at the same time.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.